Hi, Rado. How are you? Happy Friday.
Hey, Adam, how are you? Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah,
Let's jump into
likewise.
the. It's the almost the end of the day, so let's go through the all the stuff we built for the day.
Absolutely. It's great,
Let
great,
me
great topic today. So if you can share your presentation, we can
starting
go
right
from there.
now. Okay, so today's topic is wealth management.
Yeah, the topic very close to my heart. As you probably know, I spent over a decade in marketing for finance, where wealth management is one of the aspects, financial technologies. So super happy to share what we've been working on this week. But yeah, and also a very important topic. It's very personal. I always say health and finance. And whenever we can create tools and solutions that help people in that important aspect of their life, it's super rewarding and exciting to work. So even if it's late on Friday after a long week, I'm super happy to share what we've been working on.
Do Adam?
Yeah, so basically, as we've been discussing how to encapsulate best what our solution is. If you remember that the conversation went to a lot of the static content that is somewhere online and this never-ending chase of SEO as it used to be to create more content, play the search engine algorithms. And now what we have now is basically a ton of great content that generates some traffic, but could be maximized and made more attractive. So I like to think that we revive those blog posts and those pages, and visitors can get instant value. I like this, especially I like this last sentence here, that we turn passive readers into active customers, giving the second life to great content that has been already produced and is still relevant.
For me, the most important thing about the whole concept of what we started to work on is that the value that user gets is superior to what they can get in ChatGPT because it's validated. It's often, they are guided. The questions are asked, and you can build the whole experience. And in ChatGPT, you have to know what to ask, and you have to like build it yourself and ask all these questions. And what we do for the customers is something superior, in my opinion. Let's move on. Let's talk about an example. Adam, could you say about this case
Yeah, this
something more?
is this is also something super. I mentioned that finance is super personal in someone's life, but one of the transformational moments is when, the family is expecting a baby. So what we see on the screen is a great example of a very knowledgeable and informative blog post written by the experts. This particular company we see on the screen has over 50 years of experience in the herbal and supplements market. So they are obviously helping a lot of women during their pregnancy, and they also. In fact, they also have a herbal academy on their website. So the knowledge is there, what you mentioned. But at the time when they were starting out online, the written word was the default mode of communication. So they've got this great blog post that helps women on their journey throughout pregnancy, what supplements to take, what supplements not to take, equally important. But what we see on the screen, it's literally the tip of the iceberg, because there is so much knowledge that had to be presented in a linear way of the blog post that it can be a bit off-putting to someone searching for information. However, we can take all that knowledge in this blog post and more, everything from the website, from a tried and tested and confirmed website, and turned it into this configurator you can see on the right, that a visitor specifies, the women specifies which trimester they are on, if they have any requirements. So, for example, they would prefer what additional symptoms, let's say, they experience, being a nausea, lack of energy, and things like that. Some other requirements, and that creates them a personalized supplementation plan out of the products that are pregnancy safe, as well as some additional tips, what to do, what not to do, to have the most comfortable experience. So it is, for me, a purely win-win situation. A visitor gets bespoke knowledge and pre-built basket to fulfill to solve their issue, their problems. On the other hand, there's a business on the other side. So they generate a very valuable lead for the future. We know exactly which stage of pregnancy that visitor is, and Yeah, I think we can help them better and market to them going forward. So pretty much from our research, all key KPI or all key metrics on the website are going up. So it's much more engaging. It converts better. The average order value is better. The customer lifetime value goes up. And in the end of the day, it is truly helping someone who might not be comfortable or didn't have time or patience to read the very long, yet knowledgeable, yet informative blog post. So yeah, we take what you see on the left to what you see on the right, and revive this value from this blog post.
I would also add that in the existing content is not changed. What's added usually is an embedded part of the app.
Yes.
So this app is much smaller in practice. It's just embedded in the text, or sometimes there is a button that leads a user out of this article into an interactive experience, the one that is designed on the right. So we will not dive into the way how it was designed, but the goal of that slide is to have an example. And now we'll dive into the wealth management world, right? So brand number one, what's the brand that you picked, Adam?
So the brand I've been working on was Dio, one of the wealth management companies in the US. And as we were going through the framework we have developed in designing those solutions.
Okay, so I picked crescentcapital.com.
Okay.
And out of all of the keywords that I found, which was around 533 pages that are that are indexed, and they get around 15,000 traffic. It was over 3,000 unique keywords. I picked just a few pages that have only 185 visits, but I figured that these pages could be extremely valuable because I picked two keywords that are related to exit plan meaning and business exit planning. And besides that, I also picked during the analysis the post-IPO keywords, and there were a couple of more in the whole list of keywords that land on this page. So I examined where did these people land. People related to exit planning, they land on this page, which is pretty cool. And in my opinion, there is a video, there is a link to a subscription, and also there's an option to download a PDF. So the classic way of doing marketing, the one that you want to fight with.
Absolutely.
Adam.
Well, when was the last time you read a PDF?
Exactly. Nobody reads PDFs, and actually, I turned this PDF into a mini interactive solution that I will show you in a second. And the second page that I found that has quite a lot of traffic is the post-IPO financial life, and that's actually a boring blog post that you can just read on your phone or on your computer. It's just there's just nothing crazy about it. This is exactly the case that you just showed us in the example slide, where I believe it would be great to have this embedded application or some kind of experience that could engage with user and I don't know, have a quiz or have some kind of personalization experience in it. So I picked all this traffic. I asked, using our methodology, I generated 4 different ideas for solutions that could be placed on both of these websites that I've showed, just on the business exit planning and also on the post-IPO. So as you can see here, we've got post-exit lifestyle cash flow calculator. Then there's a business sales tax estimator. Another one is asset protection scenario simulator. And then there is post-IPO financial checklist. And I picked the last one. So in short, these are the apps. So the first one is the IPO Navigator. This is the one. So if we go to the beginning of the app, what we do in it, let me just zoom in a little bit. We find that it should be possible to find a company that you're in that had an IPO, or maybe is going to have an IPO. Maybe you are still, you have an incentive stock options, let's say 200, 230 Wells Fargo, let's say 1 year cliff, 1 year. We choose tax profile, current annual income, let's say 500,000. Single, married, head of household, separately, what kind of state, New York, and then we click on create my blueprint. We have to answer some questions that are important for the calculation. And then at the end, we can generate some kind of timeline based on what the data we've provided. Then we can have total tax liability, effective tax rate, after tax value, some kind of result. As you know, I'm not an expert in this field. I have
Mhm.
no clue what I'm doing, but the fact that I was able to create that so quickly
Yes.
is just amazing. And I know that there are a lot of things that would have to be checked, double checked, and verified. But the reality in which we have two user paths. In one you get a PDF, and in another one you have a calculator and experience personalized to me, to my situation. And at the end, I have this option to click on schedule confidential consultation, and then we can capture some personal information about the user, and that can be sent together with everything that this person filled before. That's amazing. But even if this user doesn't want to contact, the user already gets much superior value than just reading an article.
Absolutely. And what happens here is that if we think why that PDF, a nicely designed PDF, I'm not hating it, but it was to showcase the expertise and the value of the company that provides it. What we saw on the screen just now is the step function or multiple step functions above it, that actually it's not we will educate it, but we will help you navigate complex situation, a stressful situation, and unless you are a financial expert, a very new situation. Even just to maybe put what a bit of context here with wealth management, with doctors, with even construction companies. There was this report that a lot of uh, leads or potential clients are delaying reaching out due to stress and anxiety of looking silly. So here you kind of create this low risk experience for the user to start interacting with you, getting educated, and the conversation starter kind of writes itself. They go like, your tool gave me the tax implication of, let's say, 25K over the next 10 years, but can we double check it? Maybe there is a way to discuss it. So first of all, the goodwill is already there. You help the client. And the second one is that you can start segmenting them in the way. So is this conversation relevant? Which direction should I?
You can save on the lead qualification as well. You can still
Yes.
provide a lot of value to people that don't meet yet the threshold
Mhm.
of your lead qualification, but you can still provide the value to them. They have a positive experience with your brand. You don't have to engage. You don't have to invest in these leads and lose time, and you
Yeah.
only can engage with the leads specific thresholds.
And if we keep in mind that the last time I checked, the average cost per lead in wealth management was like over $3,500, just for a very high level contact slash early lead that someone goes like, I want to talk, and then they have to qualify whether the conversation is relevant. So how much money and time is saved through something like this? Well, someone will do the math and will be blown away.
I just filled out the other app, which is just a checklist. Simple, but already can, out of the list of, let's say, 150 points, different for different
Mhm.
user groups. But in this instance, I took a direct ownership of a company and no vesting, stuff like that, and it just provided me this kind of checklist. We don't have that checklist. It hasn't been verified, but still, like, it looks great in my opinion. So that absolutely is a superior experience compared to reading an article like this one. Let me just show you what we are talking about. This is the article that we converted into this kind of app, of course, after some deep research, but still, it's not yet, of course, validated. The whole value is when way more superior when a brand together with us can validate the results, and then it's possible to publish and then send users to this specific page. And the great thing about it is that we often don't have to capture any PII data,
Yes.
any user's data. We can send user back to the main page to get in touch. And the whole point for us is to lower the bounce rate and increase engagement on the website.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, Aram, your brand now.
Yes. So coming back, so I stayed in the wealth management sector. So I researched a brand called BEW, but throughout my research, I expanded it slightly. It was actually something similar to what you did, also a liquidity event, but not coming from the sale of stock or the company, but inheritance. So, as the wealth generational transfer happens, one of the key moments where the wealth management companies are seeking to help their customers is when suddenly they come to a possession. It's what it's called a sudden wealth, like someone inherited an estate and literally has no idea what to do with it. One of the first challenges they face, the first one that requires a lot of knowledge, a lot of advice, trusted advice, is how to navigate the tax implications. As the US has a very, I don't want to use the word complex, but let's say inflated financial regulatory market, especially when it comes to this. We've got federal taxes, state taxes, different taxes depending on who you are in relation to the person passing wealth to you, and as well as your traffic brackets. The simple research that showed this is what is there online to help you. Those are not even all of those pages. So the ones from the left and the center, it's probably like a third of the page. So imagine the situation. You are in a stressful situation, God forbid, there's been like, you are also in emotion that someone passed on, and you are to receive the sudden wealth, and you feel like everybody tries to take a piece of the inheritance you're getting. And and this is the moment, imagine, everybody knows that if you make a mistake on how do you accept the inheritance and how do you legally, structure yourself, whether as a person, a foundation, like, I want to go into the details because I would have to read out all what's on the screen. But let's say it is a stressful moment, it's a complex moment, and it creates a lot of pressure on the person to get it right. This is why they are advisors. However, what we see on the screen is the marketing of those advisors. And the irony was that on one of those pages, I was greeted with later on download a PDF, which was even longer than this.
Of course, you have to print it all out and read for a couple of hours.
Absolutely, and still be confused.
Yeah.
But the beauty of it is that 2 days later, someone would call you like, oh, would you like to talk about this?
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I would like to talk about the quality of this experience first. If we go to how we can improve it, how we can change it, and you go to the next slide, throughout our framework, it gave me the ideas into 3 solutions that I aggregated into. The decision was to go with the first one. So inheritance and estate tax dashboard, where you specify your situation, your goal. There will be also an implication whether you decide to sell and when you decide to sell. But the other two, so estate tax optimization dashboard, which one, how to structure a trust, the donation, and then compare and contrast. So something what a wealth advisor would do to you, how would go through with you. However, before you start talking to that person, as we mentioned, lower your stress level by educating yourself. Okay, this is the ballpark we are operating. And the third one, we live in the global world, and some people might have a tax residency in the other places. The high net worth individuals or ultra high net worth individuals that would face challenges like this are jet setters. They've got multiple tax residencies. So that also puts a layer of complexity.
Just to add one more context to the situation, we, like, each of these keywords say that, yes, I need a, tax solution to my problem. But the moment the user lands on a page, and let's say in the beginning of that page, the user can see a couple of solutions, let's say 6 different mini apps designed differently. One of them is this one, another is this one, another is this one. I know it could be even more confusing, but like, let's imagine that, I don't know, 1% of that traffic has that specific situation in which they have to have international, cross-border problem. They would love to be able to click on it. They would instantly know that this brand is an expert in that field.
Yes,
So,
and also, even if someone is, let's say, on the other side of the world and inherits a real estate in California, they would still use, like, as we would, those keywords and search phrases. And then by seeing the scenario you explain on the website, they would have this first aha moment, like, I didn't know I should take this into consideration. I'm actually, let's say, a Japan citizen. So very simple. Well, the solution that simplifies this process as much as possible, but not more. So yeah, it is a calculator in the shape of the form that asks you all the relevant questions. And if we fill in the ones that have asterisks next to it, so yeah, number of hairs, if you are international here or the non-US tax resident, there will be implications. There is the whole, we generated the basically based on the current tax regulations in the US, depending on state, the different behaviors for this solution. So maybe just focus on the ones with the asterisk next to it.
All
So
right.
we say what 500,000 market value at death, and you want to sell it well more than you got it for. So, yeah, so maybe in couple of years it appreciates by 10%. That's to be expected.
What about this?
So this is a positive number. So the fee, yeah, 3.5K. That's okay. And then
Selling costs, closing. Should it be 3.5K or 35K?
okay, yeah. So
Okay,
that's
let's do
for
this one.
operation, and let's go calculate and scroll down. Basically, you've got, because you chose international citizen, you are not affected to the state tax, or because it's Alabama, you are not allowed to state tax.
Alaska.
Alaska, oh yeah, Alaska famously doesn't have state taxes. But if you were to change it to New York, the situation will be different. If you were to change it to
Okay, let me change this.
that you are,
Let's pick maybe California.
yeah, oh yeah, you would be hit hard by California taxes. So yeah, so
Yeah.
now it was 0 and now it's 4.5K.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's I'm not sure what of the calculations, but like it has calculated something, and we know that we haven't checked the details of that calculator. We just created that based on the keywords, and for the quick shot and just the beginning of the conversation on like maybe turning this into reality, I think it's still pretty good.
Yeah, and
For sure.
at the bottom there is a get professional review of your numbers, and in the case of with the lead generation box at the bottom. And to be honest, like it took us what, half an hour to create something like this. It's also white labeled. We can put it into any branding from any customer we work with. We can accommodate specific niche parts as well. So yeah, now we already see it's not a belief anymore that those solutions are the future, and the companies that want to keep growing would be wise to look into the content or work with us for us to audit and to see the places where those apps can be done. This is why we are not building it as a software house. We are building it as an agency, as a marketing ongoing contracts that's got unlimited number of solutions like this put in the relevant places, because we want to align our goal with growth rather than just set it and forget it, don't take responsibility. We will be working with you to make sure more leads are coming and more valuable leads are coming. And in an industry like this, that's where the ROI skyrockets.
Awesome, thank you. We've got it. Another industry. See you next week, Adam.
See you next week, Rada. Lovely to speak to you, and have a nice weekend.
You too. Bye.
Take care. Bye.